in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds.
No way.
Yeah, that's right. You heard right. Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat myself. Hey, hey, I'm Josh. This is Gorp. Welcome back to the Gorp Show. Gorp stands for Gonzo, Overt, Ridiculo, y Psycho. Kind of lazy acronym, but today we're talking about going crazy. Talking about doing some crazy stuff out of the ordinary. We're just gonna keep it lazy, keep it low key. So schedules are going crazy lately. My schedule's out of crazy. You're not gonna be around in a little while, just for a little while though, guys. Yeah, but Brooke's on her way back. That's great news. It's great news. Get a little more.
It was a positive. It was a pleasant, surprising message.
Yeah, we're just gonna be two dudes shitting around. Apologies to Dudesy for stealing that phrase. But let's get started with getting crazy. Our receptacle today is a third-party gaming controller because only a crazy man would buy one of those. But it was $8, and it works just fine. So it paid off this time. For all those other times I bought third-party controllers because they were cheap, and they just buckled on like the first day. Yeah. Mismatched socks. So you're having a really crazy day when one's blue and one's green. You know what I mean? What's some other fashion things that are crazy or you just thought they were crazy? Like, today I'm going to try that hat. I always wanted to wear that kind of hat.
So, like, that I think are crazy on others or myself?
Oh, you just go for it.
Just go crazy.
Yeah.
Get it? He said the name of the show in the show. He said the name of the show in the show.
But yeah.
You know, I never quite got the Hot Topic stuff. That was never my thing.
Oh, sure.
But because I didn't understand it, I was oddly attracted to the women that did understand it and wore it.
Oh, yeah. Emo girls, goth girls. No, emo girls, goth girls, and
the pants with all the straps on them and the almost pipe-like leggings. Like, do you remember pipes? That's probably what I was going to say is the biggest mistake, because I never did Jenko. I never took it that far. But I did wear pipes. And pipes,
I wore
like,
pipe,
when you look back at those pictures... That was probably a mistake, huh?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, but that was, I mean, for me, it really felt like the style for longer than it was, I'm sure. I wore baggy jeans probably through 2010, almost.
Mm-hmm.
It was a while before I got into form-fitting jeans, you know, or at least well-cut.
But baggy, jeans. Like boot cut, or like, because baggy boot cut's fairly common.
I'm still a boot cut guy. I like a loosey-goosey. I want to do a high kick, Chuck Norris jump kick once in a while, right?
Chuck Norris, that was a bad example because Chuck Norris wore them cowboy Wrangler tight ones.
Yeah, they were painted on. Yeah. That's a bad example. But yeah, I'm still wearing loose and boot cut for sure because I hate it when the pants don't fit outside the shoe. You know what I mean? Like, I want the whole pant outside the whole shoe. I don't want my tongue sticking out. But yeah, I didn't go full Jinko because it was too expensive to get those. One time I had a pair of Interstates. That's about as baggy as I got. But even those were just really wide. Not really, really wide, though. Put like a whole Super Nintendo in their back pocket because it was just this giant pair of pants.
Yes. Like there's lots of that stuff going on. But those also had the chains, right? The wallet chains.
Yep.
So you couldn't feel somebody reach into your pants and grab. Those are making a comeback. The wallet chains. I've been seeing them all over lately. I've been seeing them everywhere, and I'm like, when is the wallet chain making a comeback?
Chains are cool. I mean, they go in and out of style, but chains are always cool. You know, it ebbs and flows. They'll always be.
I'm just waiting for that monocle.
Chains. I was really like, that's always going to come back, but I was surprised that mullets came back, especially as hard as they did.
Yeah. My nephew's rocking one in 5th grade, and I'm like, oh, this is a weird style.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's your fashion don't?
Oh, it's not really like a don't per se. I was just thinking about like times when I felt like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. You know, when I was deployed, I got about 5 tailor-made silk suits because when you're getting a lot of money tax-free and there's nothing to spend it on, you go to a Turkish man to make you a suit because you're 23 and that's what you do.
And you'll be size forever.
I wore it. Yeah. So I had 5 silk suits. Different. Like I had a bright red undershirt with a cream jacket. Like I was like Colombian drug lord, thrift store version for about 6 months until I started to lose that shape that I was in Iraq. I just didn't realize that you have to keep exercising. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
strange. And then like,
bodies change.
I wasn't drinking at the same time too. So I started drinking back
because you were
as
deployed.
soon as I got home. So I got bigger. But for a while there, like Friday night, we're going to the enlisted club. I'm putting on the suit, dog. So that's what I did. I sang karaoke with a suit on. But it felt good at the time. Carefully? No, I did not drink extra carefully. I was a slob. Or also the big one for me though is once in a while I'll like be out or I'll have a little bit of money or I'll be on vacation. Something will happen where I'm at a market and I see a hat. Maybe it's a fedora. Maybe it's the one that M&M ball cap where it's like solid shapes, you know, like an engineer cap. Or maybe even a beret or something. I will see a hat that's just off and I'll say to myself, yeah. And so I'll buy that hat and I'll convince myself, yeah, it looks good, right? Yeah, look, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And whoever's with me, for some reason, doesn't tell me not to wear it. So I buy it and I wear it for about a week. And then one day I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what are you doing with yourself?
Do you ever watch Big Mouth?
I've seen the first season, I think.
Okay, so season 2, I believe that there's an episode with Andrew where he buys a jazz hat for like $200, and people were like trying to hint that he looks stupid, but he keeps trying to like rock the hat, and like all it takes is like one compliment. Yeah, exactly. And it takes one compliment, and he thinks it looks great, and everyone's like, "Nah, dog." But like I've had those moments. I can't think of an exact one right now where I look in my closet and I'm like, why did you buy these, you idiot? You're so stupid. You spent your money on that. Someone scammed you. It's called your brain.
You need to go home. Moving on. It's just a quote from I Think You Should Leave. I'm going to eat the whole thing. So that's about food. We're talking about food here. When maybe you order way too much sushi or you try something brand new in a different country or something. I don't know. What do you got? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of like you overeat. Like I think of, I'm gonna eat the whole thing, and you just you completely blow past your mark, and you just eat and eat and eat until you're just throwing up. Not because you drank too much, not because you have a bug, because you're a fat ass and you ate too much food.
Yeah, I think that reminds me, there's definitely a few items that I can eat and my brain doesn't recognize that I've had too much, ever. I can keep eating sushi, like up to the point of sickness. It's so good. I feel the same way with like finger sandwiches or little like appetizers like that at a party. I'll take that whole table down, dog. I'll take the whole thing down. I'm sitting by the Rotel dip, the sausage cheesy dip. I'm just going to sit there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take a little bowl and sit down on the couch. I'm just going to sit by the dip.
And dip your chip. Oh, maybe a finger when no one's looking.
Yeah, just a little.
When no one's looking.
Just give it a little kiss.
You sit in the corner and you wait for somebody else to dip, knowing you dipped your finger, and you're like, I think mine is a buffet. I tend to and I don't go to buffets anymore. And I'm sorry if this is about to ruin buffets for everyone, but like my last time at a buffet, I'm not going to name the buffet, but I literally watched a kid sneeze into the macaroni and cheese and then scoop it onto his plate. And I'm like, I'm done with buffets. That was it. That was my moment where I can't eat at a buffet anymore.
Oh, no.
Do you ever have those where you remember something and like it's like a core memory from when you're really young? Like you shouldn't remember it, but because it was so traumatic, it's stuck in there forever.
Yeah. Or so weird.
So there's a place called Hometown Buffet where we used to go and we and we used to just eat. And I love the carving station where they carve you some prime rib or they carve you some roast beef or they carve you some ham. And I would just eat and eat. And I recall I ate so much. And what did it was I grabbed 2 slices of key lime pie and I brought them back and I housed them. and then all of a sudden, I felt the food up here, like in this region, and I'm like, it's coming. So I'm trying to make it to the, and I'm trying to like hustle my way past, but like not be too noticeable that I'm sick. So I'm trying to be cool as like a little 10-year-old or whatever. And then as I get to the back of the buffet on the like the walk to the bathroom, I just like all over the floor. And it just keeps going. And I just kept throwing up when I made it to the bathroom. So yeah, surprise officially ruined buffets for everyone. But that's what I said. I'm going to eat the whole thing. And by the whole thing, I meant the whole buffet. The entire buffet.
Whole buffet. Yeah, I'm like that with the buffet. And if someone says, hey, let's just do buffet, I'm probably going to say, yeah, sure. But
yeah.
I won't go alone because that would be a crime scene. I would destroy everything, despite the germy stuff that you said. Like the mac and cheese, they'd run out of cheese, man. And I don't really ever do the carving station. It's interesting you say that. I don't think I've ever really gone to the carving station. As a kid, my first thought was I didn't like talking to strangers back then. I never do, but like even as a kid, I would just. No, I'm not going to ask someone for something. I just want to get the mac and cheese. So I'd have whatever was already pre-carved. But you eat, I guess, I ate one regular plate, one plate that's 75% mac and cheese, another plate of mac and cheese with rolls sprinkled throughout, and then I get 2 desserts. And I always got that, and then I was done. My brother would keep going. He could eat forever if we let him. He always gets so mad because me and my dad ate fast military style, and he savored his food. So he just said, "Oh no, I'm gonna get some more." Like we're done with the dessert. He's not even at dessert yet.
I've got this picture in my head of you and your father watching your brother and just thinking to yourselves, "Look at him go! Look at that little guy house that!
Look at him go!" Oh, that's a good one. My brother did that. It's a family story. As a kid, like early grade school, they're at this restaurant. They don't have a lot of money. And it's Germany, and they see someone had a big old giant fish that's been roasted, the head's still attached. And my big brother said, I want that. And my dad's like, you're not going to get that. He's like, no, I really want that. And then he finally convinced them. My dad's like, okay, but you got to eat the whole thing, though. You're going to eat it.
Yeah.
So they get it, eats the whole fish, eyeballs and everything, just tears it up. He's like, maybe 7.
He ate the whole thing.
Ate the whole thing. Now we got... Breaking the law. Isn't that a song? Breaking the law. You ever go crazy?
Yeah, breaking the law, and then I fought the law and the law won. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Josh. Explanation for the topic.
Well, it's not really an explanation. It's just a question. Like, do you ever know a guy? Like, do you have a friend who ever broke the law?
Ever know a guy?
Just in a moment of crazy, or maybe you're around someone who went crazy and they broke the law.
So I mean, like, we've all broken a law. Like, everybody's gone more than 10 miles per hour above the speed limit. Except for Josh. That's a callback to previous episodes for our listeners. They appreciated that one. But I will tell you, I have a good story for this. I've got a MEPS story, right, from when I was in MEPS. We're all at MEPS, and I became friends with some folks at MEPS, and one's name was Eric. And you try to be cool when you're 18 years old or whatever. And I'm trying to play it cool, like be the cool guy in. And I sit down. You remember at MEPS how some of the MEPS have like the bench chairs when you're done with all the appointments and you're in the recruiter's office or whatever. And they got a movie playing, so you sit down or whatever. So I sat down. This dude sits down next to me, big old afro, like slow talking dude. And I'm from Oakland originally, or the Bay Area originally. He's like, oh, I'm from there too, and we get to talking or whatever. And he goes, yeah, man, I'm even surprised they let me in this joint because I had a felony. And now I'm trying to be cool or whatever. And I'm like, you got a felony, man. That's crazy. Like, so how'd you get in? I didn't think you could serve with a felony. And he goes, no, I got a waiver. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So it was something you could get a waiver for. He goes, yeah, man, it was manslaughter. Yeah. like wait, in my head, I'm like, wait, this guy, like, you killed someone though. Like, it's a lesser killing, but you killed someone is what that means.
Manslaughter is very, very broad. But sometimes it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
I can see that.
So I leave it alone. Like, I'm not even, like, talking about it, right? And later we're playing Bones. And for the uninitiated audience, that's dominoes, right? And we're holding ours like this, or, like face down on the table. And Eric, white boy Eric, Eric doesn't understand how you play bones. He knows the game a little bit, but he's stacking his dominoes up on the table in front of you. All right, he has them stacked up. Well, any of you experienced dominoes players know a fist is hitting that table. If you got them stacked up, pound the table, and you see all their dominoes.
Yeah.
Right? And oh boy, the dude with the afro just kept doing it to Eric. And Eric jumps up and he goes, "No, stop it!" So mad. And I go, Eric, no. He a real one. Like, let's just play a game.
I'll put a manslaughter on you.
Yeah. So that's my story in knowing somebody that broke the law.
Oh boy. In her 18-year-old phase, I had some friends and we would go out at night and drive around to smoke weed. Because kids back then, there was nowhere to smoke weed and it was very illegal. So we had to just drive around smoking weed. And we'd find a cool smoke spot. So when we're looking for a cool smoke spot, we would go to, there's a national park or a state park, Seven Falls, and we'd climb up the back where it's restricted. And there's like caves up there and mountain lions, but they didn't mess with us. And we'd climb to the top of the mountain. It was semi-dangerous, but we'd go at the full moon. And we were like on this like huge rocky peak, looking at the whole city. If it's the right weather, you can see Denver from Colorado Springs, just because it's just right there. You're so high in the air and you're high. That was one of the best
high two ways.
Best laws I've ever broken was trespassing in a state park. It was really, really cool.
I like that one. I think I'm going to call that clip High Two Ways.
Double it up. All right. What about I immediately regret this decision.
Golly. This is such a hard one because like a lot of the decisions that I just don't know of one that I'm like, oh, I immediately regret doing this. Immediately regret this decision for me. I went rappelling and I'm afraid of heights, right? So I always jump off things. Like I'm cool with jumping off things because I can land it and I feel safe because I feel like I'm in control.
Right.
But when I was rappelling, it was into this cavern, and after a while, there's no more cave around you where you feel like that false sense of security. Like I could just put my foot on that rock wall.
You're just
and it'll
floating.
Be okay. All of a sudden, you opens up into this massive, like almost auditorium, and I'm just hanging in the middle of the air. Yeah, and there's nothing like I'm not in an enclosed space anymore. It's just space around me. And I remember I'm like trying to slowly push myself down, and yes, I immediately regretted that decision because I felt like I was going to die every pull of the rope.
I'm proud of you for that. Wow. Sheesh.
Yeah, just shaking like a leaf.
Well, I decided to get a little crazy one time and just like spend my money and go get a bicycle. I didn't have a lot of money. I had just come from overseas and I hadn't been in the States for about 2 years. And smartphones and everything they came out when I was gone. I didn't really have a smartphone. I got one as soon as I got back in the States. So I have a GPS. I guess I could figure out how to use it. Yeah. I'm gonna go get I'm gonna get a cab to the bicycle shop, buy the bicycle, ride it back to where I'm at.
Okay.
I don't know how to use GPS. Use a GPS. I do now, but when I couldn't figure out how to make it. I kept getting turned around because I would stop, ride from my bike for a while, stop, look at the map, but it didn't know that it didn't orient to me, and I couldn't figure out that it wasn't orienting to me. Yeah. So I got lost. I rode my bike for like 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
My butt hurt the next week. And eventually I ended up somehow in a commercial district. It was just big buildings, like finance things and corporate whatever. So I just knocked on the window, and the security guard comes out, and I'm like, dude, can you just call me a cab? I don't know where I'm at. And I guess I went like almost 25 miles that day in the wrong direction.
trying to figure out the GPS.
Yeah, all I had was a CD player, some water, and that bike.
How did the CD player last that long?
Well, I had batteries, just brand new batteries. I just got it. Oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a CD player. It was an iPod. iPod Touch.
Okay, that makes That makes more sense. Because I'm sorry, a CD player lasting 25 miles by bicycle with AA batteries, if that doesn't make you believe in God, nothing will.
I just listened to a lot of Rat-a-Tat and Kid Cudi the whole time.
The whole way.
Woof. Yeah.
Josh
there's also
is like, it's probably not great. I'm at the end of this CD.
There's also there's a fire extinguisher story that I regret. We can bring that up at another gorp. On the dance floor, you're getting crazy on the dance floor. We've gone over this before in a dance episode, but can you recall when you were the most loose, the most explorative?
This is a point where I wish that I could do things like no one was watching, to be honest. And I'm just not great at that. I'm always cognizant. I wish I didn't care as much about my presentation to others, if that makes sense. I think I care too much. I think most times. Yeah. It's led me to not do some things because of, I'm like, wow, what's the perception of that action going to be? How will I be perceived if I in fact do that? And typically I decide against it. And dancing like no one's watching is something I wish I could do. I had that capability. But I do recall partying with you one time at Master Sergeant Daniel's house. And it was just like a little get together. I don't know if you remember it, but there's a couple ice chests in his living room. And there was some music playing. And you and I just start doing the robot in the middle of the dance floor. And like, you do your robot and I'm doing my robot. And then you do a little shimmy in it. And I was like, I don't know if I have the same jiggle that you have with the shimmy in it. Right? Jiggle. So that was probably the most I did something like that. It's because like I did a little thing and then you were like, let me combat your thing. Oh, now I did a thing. And I'm like, well, I got to hit you with this thing. And then we just did it. For a little bit. And that's probably the most I've done in that realm.
That's stuff like that is what I really like because everyone already knows it's stupid. Like, but you got to take that and then really open that scope up because it's all stupid. You're on the day. Yeah. It's so stupid. Dancing is stupid, and that's why we like it. And if you treat every moment like, yeah, we already know you're going to be bad. It's going to be terrible. I just hope you're on beat, and you don't hurt anyone.
Just have a little bit of rhythm. Yeah. You're right. Don't do the swingy thing. No, you don't need a swing or you don't need too many kicks.
You don't need a ska, whatever that's called. You don't need a mosh. But I liken it to like taking off your shirt in public, like being at the lake or whatever. I always did that, but you gain some weight and you're not sure if you want to, but you eventually just gotta just take off the top, just pop that top and just get some sun on you. It's good for you. But even so, I haven't always been like expressive in that way, or I was always self-conscious the way you say. It took me a while to really actively try to chip away at that over the years. That I've gotten more and more nonchalant about acting stupid in public.
Yeah, no, I actually recall a time when you and I were at this party, and it was a party that I brought us all to. It was like you, myself, maybe Wesley from TheSadFan, and another friend of ours were at this party, and everybody's talking, and I'm good at that. I could talk in a group. Like, I can get a group going, right? And you were next to me, and my phone, like, vibrates, and I look down, and it's like, yo, tell these people I can beatbox. and like, I immediately jump into action in the middle of this guy having his moment. I was like, yo, you gotta hear my boy beatbox. That was my, this is like, the only one way, I can't bring it off softly, can't be subtle about this. Gotta go right into it. You gotta hear this.
Yeah. And I should have just been like, hey, check this out. You know what I mean? It's a big.
Everybody look at me.
Yeah. We used to do that a lot, but I did it with my buddy Andre. We would just infiltrate parties, but he was like the MC, so he would always get it started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never had to be like, hey, check it out. Because he was always there. It got us a lot of free beer back in the day.
Yeah, I bet.
All right. We got 2 left. I'll pick this one.
2 left.
Dangerous Nights, also from the I Think You Should Leave show. Sorry, shameless.
Yeah.
But Dangerous Nights. You remember when you had a Dangerous Nights crew when you just went crazy?
There's been a lot of Dangerous Nights, not as of late, because I'm responsible as an adult, and I try to always, as stated earlier. But there's one I can remember, and I was definitely underage drinking, and yeah, right. What a crime! Oh my god! And guys, I was 19. In the country I'm in now, people are drinking at like 13, walking up to the bar. But whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
bought you that beer,
I was, I was 19, and we're drinking we're playing beer pong in someone's house, and one of our friends who was the DD comes running down. He goes, "Cops, cops, 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 cops!" And there was a basement door because we were down in the basement that led to the outside, and I burst open that basement door and I'm running and I step in a gopher hole right away. Boom, ankle. Turns out later I had an avulsion fracture. I woke up the next morning, my whole foot was black. But the fact that I woke up the next morning is foreshadowing. So anyway, I was like, bleep it. Ankle will be fine. Hop a fence, right? Jump over the fence and then get to a place where there's a lot of cars and I just sit on all these cars. I'm trying to look for flashlights or whatever to see if I see like cop flashlights coming. They never come, and I'm like, but we can't go back to the house. So I just go on a journey, and I won't tell you all the details of this journey, but I just basically ended up in the trunk of my car is how this night ends, because we didn't have enough seats in the car to fit everyone, and the person that was driving came and picked us up, me and the other individual that I was with that was avoiding getting an MIP, a minor in possession, and we got in the trunk of the car and made it home safe. Next morning, woke up with a bruised foot.
Oh, boy. That's crazy, man. That's a wild story. I've never had an injury like that. Jeez.
Yeah.
A lot of pain, huh?
It hurt the next day.
Jeez. Yeah, I had a Dangerous Nights crew a couple times. I talked about my buddies that we go get high and climb the mountains, and we'd always do tunnels, and I don't know. We did a bunch of stupid stuff. Mostly just breaking into places, and just chilling there. And then leaving. But one time I was out with another crew when I was stationed in Italy. Yeah. We all went to Venice, and it's just where I was at, just a train ride. And you go there in the morning, you leave at, the last train out's like 8:30 or something. So we just got a bottle of Prosecco each. We're walking around with bottles like idiots, which you're allowed to back then. Or in Venice, you're allowed to walk around with a drink, but it is just flagrant to walk around sipping on a bottle of Prosecco to yourself, you know what I mean?
How often are you in Venice?
How often? Well, I was there more than most folks. I was blessed to be able to go to Venice quite a bit.
I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I was trying to give you an out.
No,
live life while you're in Venice.
Huge piece of shit. So in particular, me and one other friend, he's dead now too. Jeez. We got drunk and he had a heart.
Why did you laugh?
So he was limping.
Why did you laugh? You did such a good job the first story you told of not laughing about your friend passing, and we're right back to the Josh that just giggles every time he says he's dead.
Just, I don't know, just the abruptness of saying that is always funny to me. He's dead! Anyway, we got particularly
But the truth
drunk.
is, they probably want you to laugh. They probably want you to laugh,
Yeah. He had some sort of, he had a torn hamstring, so I don't even know why he was walking Venice with me, but he was.
Gotcha.
And I was so drunk and he was so drunk, we were in that codependent mode, so I was helping him limp along, and the other people in our posse kind of didn't even want to be around us. They kept distancing themselves more and more. So we finally get to the train. We got to the last train, thankfully. We get on the train and I realize my buddy's not with me. Where'd he go? So I get off the train to go find him. Everyone else is like, all right, peace. All right. Get off the train to go find him, and he's nowhere to be found. I spent the whole night walking Venice, screaming for him. Eventually, I quit screaming for his name because he's just gone. Yeah. And I slept in Venice. I just slept on a park bench in Venice.
Jesus.
But before that, I had just walked the streets of Venice at night until 3 a.m. And it was one of the most romantic, self-romantic, magical evenings I ever had. I accidentally had this wonderful magical evening because I was pissed drunk with my friends.
I wish somebody had that on film, because you were probably at moments like the double rainbow guy. It's just so beautiful.
Oh, man. I honestly, it's one of my core memories. I remember it vividly, and it's one of my places I go to when I need to calm down. It was just a
Gotcha.
wonderful, wonderful experience.
Gotcha.
Walking in a city at night, almost any city is kind of magical in the first place, but this was Venice. Anyway, he was fine. He walked home that night somehow. He paid €600 for a halfway trip, and then he walked the rest. All right,
Jeez.
last topic up.
Oh.
Treat yourself. Let's lighten it up a little bit. How you been treating yourself when you want to really spoil yourself, or when you've done in the past?
I think I like going to sporting events and things like that. That's really nice for me. I think that I didn't allow myself some of these creature comforts of going to live events and things like that because I felt like I was wasting money that could be spent on other things. And then I just realized, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, just go, just treat yourself, have a good time, enjoy it, share it with others however you can, and enjoy the little things. I think I am one of those people that I constantly beat myself up about not doing enough or not doing as much as I can. And the truth is, whether these people want to admit it or not, many people just get lucky breaks. And I know they if they feel like they admit it, then that negates all their hard work. I'm here to tell you guys, if you get a lucky break, it doesn't negate all the work you did to get there.
No.
But it helps the other people around you to understand that it's not a yellow brick road that we can all follow. But hey, sometimes you just got to get lucky. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of luck helped you along your journey. So with this, I kind of stopped worrying about what I wasn't doing and started doing certain things that I enjoy.
That's good. And yeah, to your point, like one of my favorite examples of that is Louis C.K. Not to bring up a weird guy or anything, but I remember when he was
There's no plants around. I think you're good.
When he was at his peak of fame, he would always, like, in a lot of his appearances, he would always mention how, right now, but it took me, 20 plus years to get here, and next year I'll be flying coach again. Next year I'll be flying coach. And he's not exactly flying coach anymore. He's still filthy rich. But you don't see much of Louis C.K. anymore. Sometimes you just get lucky. You do hard work to present the opportunities when they're there, or to attack the opportunities. But luck has a lot to do with it. Just being born in America, for one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's privilege in its own way. Come on.
Getting certain jobs when you go into the military is luck. To be honest, if you're somebody that's had a successful career in the military, you don't realize how lucky you are and how that you fell into a career field that you enjoy or you love and you were able to deal with for 20, 30 years, and how many people don't get that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, opportunities just come up, and whether you're there for them or not. Anyway, blah, blah.
What about you?
Well, how did we get there from treating yourself? Oh, we're going to like concerts and stuff? How did we get there? Anyway. Well, I was thinking about little snacks. You get yourself a little cinnamon bun. Cinema bun.
All right.
Or I mean, it doesn't really work anymore. Now it's Amazon. But, okay, there's an example. But first, the mall. In the earlier days, you'd go to the mall and just walk the mall. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt today. And you pay too much for a pretty cool T-shirt.
Yeah.
Or, I really, when I get the chance, I really do massage and get myself a new pair of shoes.
That's a great example of the massage.
I love fresh shoes. I love a good, solid massage. So that's probably my number one way. But I like the experience. It feels like a treat going to a shopping center with the intention of maybe having a little extra money to buy something. And maybe I'll just have a little snack. I love that. It's a self-care
and do a little something.
Yeah, and I still do that, not quite with the mall, but I walk downtown nowadays whenever I can. But as far as the shopping goes, I actually just recently bought... I designed some T-shirts, put them on my site, and I bought myself some T-shirts. So I sell my T-shirts, folks. I sell designs for stickers and stuff, but no one really buys from it, and I don't get a lot of profit. I really just have the website so I can buy myself T-shirts that I designed. I want to wear my art, and that's my number one. Buying T-shirts online that I made is like a big time. You deserve it, bud.
You get it. What about that picture behind you? Is that going to go on a T-shirt anytime soon?
Oh, the Mona Lisa? Maybe. I
think that's copywritten. The Mona Clownsa?
No, it's just, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just name it Blue Girl. But it's not on a T-shirt yet, but I should redesign it. There's like 4 of these in existence. They're just different colors. And mostly relatives have it, but some friends have one too.
I can see that on a white T-shirt.
Yeah, it was a series, and that could be really cool. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that. Not yet, though, son. Anyway, we talked about getting crazy. Any final thoughts? Any closing statements? Or do you want to care to explain yourself, young man?
I don't know what I'd be explaining. I feel like a funny joke. This is a really quick quip. I said I was at work and I was like, "Do you guys mind if I'm just real with you?" And everyone at the work office was like, "When are you ever not just being real?" Because I just say what I'm thinking instead of I do think through it. Let me be very clear. I do think through it, but if it goes through all the checks and balances in my brain, and I'm like, that's not going to get you in trouble. I'm pretty blunt about things. Like I don't like that. I like
you're
that.
Not,
this is
you're
dumb.
not like playing a game of chess with your words like some people do.
I'm very abrupt. So no, I've said everything I want to say. I think they should follow us though. What do you think?
Hey, follow and like and subscribe and take a picture of your pet today. You can find us at Gorp Show. We're on the TikToks. We're on the Grams. We're on the SadFan Podcast Media Network conglomerate on YouTube. And we're all over the place.
And we'll see you there. No way.